Welcome to Timeless Prosperity. This channel is for anyone who feels stuck between who they are and who they know they could be. We explore timeless self-mastery texts and translate them into simple, modern conversations. I have studied these wisdoms and teachings and read a lot and realized that many, if not all, of the wisdoms and lessons we see today are actually based on teachings that took place over a century ago. So without further ado, here is the next chapter. Chapter 3. Will and Imagination. Simplified for modern readers. If you look up the word will in a dictionary, you'll probably find something like the ability to freely choose and control your actions. We tend to accept that definition without question. But here's the thing. It's not actually true. In reality, your willpower always gives way to your imagination. No exceptions. Wait, what? That sounds like nonsense, you might say. I get it. But stick with me. It's not a wild theory. It's an observable fact. To see it for yourself, just open your eyes and pay attention to what's happening around you. You'll realize this isn't abstract philosophy. It's how human psychology actually works. Note, Coué isn't dismissing willpower entirely. He's saying that when will and imagination clash, imagination wins. That's the key insight. The plank experiment. Imagine a wooden plank, 30 feet long and 1 foot wide, lying flat on the ground. Easy, right? Anyone could walk from one end to the other without stepping off. Now picture that same plank balanced high up between two cathedral towers. Suddenly, walking it feels impossible. Your knees shake, your breath quickens. Even if you really want to cross, your body won't cooperate. And the harder you try to force yourself, the more likely you are to fall. Why the difference? The plank didn't change. Your imagination did. On the ground, you imagine, this is easy. You walk. In the air, you imagine, I'm going to fall. Your body follows that script. Roofers or construction workers can walk that high plank, not because they have superhuman willpower, but because they've trained their imagination to believe, I can do this safely. Note, this is why exposure therapy works. It's not about trying harder. It's about rewiring the mental image. Vertigo isn't caused by height itself. It's caused by the mental picture of falling. And once that image takes hold, your body reacts instantly, no matter how hard your conscious will fights back. In fact, the more you struggle against it, the faster the opposite of what you want happens. Everyday proof. When willpower backfires. This pattern shows up everywhere. A few quick examples. Insomnia. If you just lie in bed without pressure, sleep often comes naturally. But if you try to force yourself to sleep, I must fall asleep now, the tension keeps you awake. The harder you push, the more alert you become. Forgotten names? Ever blank on someone's name, then scramble harder to remember it, only to draw a bigger blank? Then, the moment you relax and think, it'll come to me, poof, there it is. Effort blocked recall. Ease allowed it. Learning to ride a bike. When you were new, you probably gripped the handlebars tight, eyes locked on every bump. Saw a pebble? You'd steer hard to avoid it, and ride straight into it. Why? Because your imagination screamed, don't hit that! And your body obeyed the image, not the intention. Uncontrollable laughter. Try really hard not to laugh at something funny. What happens? The pressure builds, and the laugh bursts out even stronger. Willpower fuels the fire. In each case, what's the inner dialogue? I don't want to fall, but I can't stop. I want to sleep, but I can't. I want to remember, but I can't. I want to avoid that, but I can't. See the pattern? In every conflict between will, I want X, and imagination, but I picture not X, imagination wins. Every single time. Note, this isn't about weakness. It's about mechanics. Your unconscious mind responds to images and feelings far more than to commands. The ripple effect. How imagination spreads. This principle scales up too. Think about a military leader charging forward with confidence. Their troops often follow, not because they were ordered to, but because they imagined victory was possible. Now flip it. If someone yells, "Every man for himself," the group imagines defeat, and panic spreads instantly. Coué references a classic story. Panurge, wanting revenge on a merchant at sea, bought the merchant's largest sheep and threw it overboard, knowing the rest of the flock would jump in after it. And they did. Note: we're not so different from those sheep. Humans are wired to follow mental and social cues. When we see others act a certain way, our imagination whispers, "That's what people do here," and we follow, often without realizing it. The hard truth about habits and choices. This dynamic explains some of our toughest struggles. Take someone trying to quit drinking. They'll tell you, honestly, "I hate how alcohol makes me feel. I want to stop, but something inside me just pulls me back." Or someone who commits a harmful act and says, "I didn't want to do it, but I felt powerless, like something stronger than me took over." They're not making excuses. They're describing a real psychological force. When the unconscious imagination believes, "I can't stop," or "this is who I am," that belief overrides conscious desire, even when the person genuinely wants to change. Note: Coué isn't removing responsibility. He's highlighting why willpower alone often fails, and pointing toward a more effective path, working with the imagination, not against it. The bottom line: we like to think we're in control, that our will is the captain of our ship, but more often we're like puppets, and our imagination holds the strings. The good news? Puppets can learn to handle their own strings. Once we understand that imagination drives action, we can stop fighting ourselves and start guiding that inner force consciously. That's where real self-mastery begins. Check in tomorrow for the next chapter. If you like this type of content, please like and share. It will keep me motivated to produce more.